Upadane khiladhare jaganti parameshware sargastitilayan yanti buddhani vavarini. Upadane, which is the material cause. Akhiladhare, which is the support of everything. Jaganti, the worlds. Parameshware, in the Supreme Self. Sargastitilayan, rising, existing, and dissolving. Yanti, pass away. Buddhani, bubbles. Eva, like. Varini, in the waters. Like bubbles in the water, the worlds rise, exist, and dissolve in the Supreme Self, the material cause and support of everything.
Namaste. So the worlds arise like bubbles. And in the preview picture, thumbnail picture of this video is Mahavishnu lying on the causal ocean, and all the bubbles of the worlds are coming out from him. And what is the point? The universe and all the worlds in it are produced. They're fabricated. They are manufactured. They come into existence at a certain point. And like everything that comes into existence, they will also go out of existence at the end. Now, the lifespan of the universe is a tremendously long span of time, but it's still finite. Therefore, even the demigods like Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, or Rudra, they're all mere appearances in the flow of time. And when the time of the universe is finished, the whole thing is wound up again, like a movie that runs forward and then backwards. All those worlds again enter into Vishnu. Vishnu enters into Shiva, and Shiva and Shakti simply disappear. Because the whole thing is an illusion. How is that? It's an upadhi. And the gods have what's called ishopadhi. Ishopadhi means that my power is pervading the entire universe. I can do anything through my Maya. And of course, Shiva's Maya is the most powerful because it includes all the gunas, all three. But Vishnu, for example, his Maya is only Sattva Guna. Brahma, his Maya is only Rajaguna. And Rudra, his Maya is, of course, Tamaguna. He destroys the universe at the end, burns everything to ashes. So we can understand, if the universe is temporary, if these worlds and all the phenomena connected with them come into existence and then go out of existence at the end, the whole thing is Maya. It's all illusion. We can't depend on it. That's the message here in this context of tmabodhah. We can't depend on it because it's temporary and always changing. I was studying Jyotish, Vedic astrology, and the planets there are always moving, always changing. Their influences mutate from one sign to another, from one house to another. And as they go around, they're called transits, making relationships with the planets in your birth chart, and they create innumerable phenomena, which is, actually pretty predictable. But still, things are constantly changing in the universe. You can't hang your hat anywhere and expect it to stay firm or steady. It won't. Everything is moving, circles within circles. So here there is no peace. There is no end to the changes until the end of the universe itself. This is the point of this loka, which, by the way, does not exist in all versions of tmabodhah. Its authenticity is somewhat controversial. That's why I think we should standardize on the text that I'm using, which is a translation by a disciplic descendant of the Southern school, Shankaracharya. So anyway, this verse, some people say it's interpolated, but I accept it because it makes a point that is needed to be made. And the point is that even the greatest creation in the material world, Mahavishnu, is but a temporary phenomenon. And yes, you can take shelter of Vishnu or Shakti or Shiva, and you can stay with them on their planets for a long, long time. But still, eventually it comes to an end. And when it does, you had better already developed the consciousness of Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. And this seems to be what everybody misses. They act and think and speak as if Brahman is something outside of them. There's something they can go searching for and see. Oh, there's Brahman. No. Because Brahman is always a subject. Brahman is awareness, the knower, the witness. So Brahman is never seen, but Brahman is everywhere and sees everything. That's the difference. So you want to know where Brahman is? Brahman is you. You cannot see Brahman, you can only be Brahman. Ramana Maharshi used to say. Brahman is known as the self. Which self? Yourself, myself, the self of that kitty cat that's sleeping on my bed. You can't have an objective Brahman. Brahman must be subjective alone. Therefore, it's said in, I forget which Upanishad, Mundaka. Brahman never becomes the object of any process of knowledge. It can't be known, it can't be seen, it can't be felt, it can't make itself visible by its actions because there are no actions. There are no qualities. It is strictly subjective. So this is the key to realizing Brahman, that it's not something out there. It's something in here, the self, what we call I. Now, most of the time, most people misidentify I with the false ego. But since that is also seen, is also perceived, it's also temporary, artificial, fabricated. So once we reject the false I, neti, we have to come to the final conclusion that the only thing left, after all the perceptible objects are removed, is I myself, as consciousness. And that is Brahman. Or I should say, I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Think about it. If everything perceptible is Maya, then the only reality is the perceiver. If all the objects of consciousness are fabricated, then the only thing that's not fabricated is consciousness itself. That exists forever, beginningless and endless, everywhere. No boundaries. That is Brahman, and that is yourself, myself, and the self of every living being.
Om Tat Sat, Om Shakti